Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Nerd Boy with Nerd Boy PCs, tuning in with another video. This video is going to be about the Security Plus. As you can see, I'm a little worn out. I've been studying for the past 5 weeks. Well, no, I actually been studying for the past 5 months. It took me 5 months to pass this test. But I crammed like for the past 5 weeks, 5 to 7 weeks, just all cram. Yeah, just all cram. So what I want to do is give you guys a little bit of detail and give you guys an update of how my experience was with the test. I know you all probably already know the score you have to have is a 750, and that's the lowest you can get. First and foremost, I passed the test. I passed, right? My score was higher than a 750. I had a 762, which to me I feel was low. That's a low score to me. Even my CCNA was in the 800s, right? So I'm just saying to myself, like, wow, the Security Plus test is a lot more difficult than what I thought it was going to be. Is it a hard test? It's not really that hard, but it's a little difficult, right? A couple things, both three to four things that surprised me in the test. Well, the first was the tricks. They got a lot of tricks in the test. It's really tricky, right? So with the wording and how they word the questions and how they ask questions and basically trying to trip you up, basically. So what I would say is, if you look out for keywords within the test that sounds more like this, I'm gonna give it to you. Most likely, right? Most likely, first thing to do, last thing to do, and most expensive and least expensive. If you can narrow down those keywords within the questions, you will actually figure out the answer, because that's where they trip you up at when they say those things, because you can actually read the question and it will say most likely, but then they have another part of the question, like it's like the question will start over within the question, and then they'll start talking about something else. So when that happens, always remember to relate back to the first part of the sentence that says so and so most likely or whatnot. Or if you can find where it says what would you do if so and so blah blah blah, you know what I mean? And when they say that, they actually throwing you off. That's how they throw you off, because the question is going to start over within the question, and it's going to have another part that's just going to be, that's not going to have anything to do with what was said at first. So that's the trick. And if you can actually pinpoint that, then you can answer the question. And another thing that I would say to do is use the process of elimination and eliminate the actual answers that had nothing to do with the question at all. So you're gonna have 4 answers, might be A through D or whatnot, and basically 3 of those answers is not gonna matter at all. 2 of those answers it really doesn't matter, right? So A and B may not matter at all. Then you have C and D. C will most likely be the answer. D will probably be the answer, basically, right? So eliminate the first 2 or the ones that you see that they might mix it up, right? It might be A and C that don't matter, or D and B that don't matter. But look at the answers and then eliminate the ones that you know for a fact that has nothing to do with the question that's at all, right? And if you can do that, then you automatically got them. You already split the answer in half. Boom. Now you have two. You narrow it down to two answers. Now, whichever one don't go with this question, or most likely is not the answer, to eliminate that. And the one that you have left would be the answer. And if it comes down to the point where you have A through, let's say, E or F or whatnot, because you might have 6 answers. Sometimes you might have 6 answers, or you might have 5 answers. So narrow it down. Eliminate, process of elimination. Eliminate the ones that don't matter. Only focus on the ones that possibly will matter and the one that would matter. And then you're good. If you can do that, you're good. Yeah, the exam, it was 90 minutes long. It was 90 questions. And they almost got me. I think I almost failed, to be honest with you. But I passed. I passed with flying colors. I did. 12 points over is more than enough. Pass is a pass, right? But some more things to look out for is the acronyms. It's a lot of acronyms on this test, on this Security Plus 601, that will probably catch you off guard. So what I did was I read the objectives, and in the objectives, it gives you all the acronyms. It gives you like pages and pages of acronyms. Read those acronyms. I actually went through them all one by one. I researched them all and I read up on them all, and I actually did that because I knew I saw a lot more, within the objectives that I'd never seen before. So I said, you know what? Well, let me read up on these and let me do my research on each and every one of these acronyms, so that way I can be, on point with it, just in case if they try to, trip me up with one of these acronyms, because we don't know how they grade the test. You can, certain many answers that you get wrong can actually keep you from passing. So that was one thing. Another thing was the performance questions. The performance questions was a lot trickier than I thought they would be. But they was easy, but they still was tricky, right? Because you really have to read through the question to actually understand exactly what it is they're asking you to do in the performance questions. I believe I had like 4 or 5 performance questions, and I flagged maybe 1 or 2, and I came back to it later. And remembering that you only have at least, if it's 90 minutes on the test, you have at least 1 minute per question to answer that question, to answer each question. 1 minute per question. Time management is important for this test, so you got to manage your time. I had like 15 minutes left, at the end of my test, and I normally have at least 15 to 17 minutes left on each test I ever take. But this test, I had 15 minutes left, and I had, I think it was like 7 questions or 8 questions that I flagged. So that actually gave me roughly 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes per question. For those last 8 questions that I had. So that's how, I was actually just reading through it, going right through it extremely fast, because remember, you only have 1 minute per question. So it's different phases that you will have to, set aside for yourself. Like I said in my last video, give yourself these phases. There's different phases that you can actually use to get through. Most important thing is to read the questions. I mean, really read them. Read them. Because it gets hard. It gets hard when you're looking at the time, and then you're trying to read them at the same time, and then you're looking at the don't keep looking at the time. If you keep looking at the time, you're wasting time. So just throwing that out there. Yeah, and arrive early for your test. Make sure you eat the night before. Eat that morning. Make sure you have a good breakfast, and make sure you sleep the night before. I did sleep, but I'm still tired because, I've been studying all this time and still working, and, being a full-time dad is just like 3 jobs in itself. But, it's really intense. It's a really intense test. So, I'm worn out. You can look at me. I'm worn out. Look at my face. Look at my eyes. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm going to get some rest. Okay. But So the test had more acronyms in the test than I ever seen before. It was more networking questions than I ever seen before. I didn't expect that in the Security Plus, but they're there. And that was really it, to be honest with you. That was really, besides the tricks and the trick questions and the networking and the acronyms, I think you'll be okay. It's not that hard, It's difficult if you don't do your research, but it's actually not that hard. So just throwing it out there. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. So I'm the Nerd Boy, Nerd Boy PCs, and stay tuned for my next video. It will be a whole lot more. I have a whole lot more energy than I have now. But of course, you all know that I make these videos to help out with you all out there that's actually studying and wanting to pass the test, because I know how difficult it is, or it can be, to pass these tests. So I actually make these videos to help you pass and help you get a job, or get a better job and actually get certified, so you can have your foundation set in IT. But I'm the Nerd Boy with Nerd Boy PCs. Don't forget, I'm not that tired. I gotta hit you.